Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. Hope you're good. So today, excuse me, is the 18th of August 2021, and I wanted to do a video which can act as a portal of healing and light and prayer and focus for anybody that is disturbed, as many of us are, by the current happenings in Afghanistan. And what is happening in Afghanistan with the takeover by the Taliban and the pulling out of forces there is raising much fear for the plight going forward of women, children, minority groups, etc., and return to a darker age. Now, as I say that, these are very real fears that are there, and they're justified based on past behaviour of the old regime. But we also have to try, as much as we can as light workers, to keep our focus on the highest possible timeline and outcome at all points of our journey here on Earth, whatever the circumstance, whatever is in the news. So I would remind us to do that before we get into the main body of this video. I would also just ask us to please put politics aside for this. The intention is to bring some light and some healing. And so, you know, if there's lots of comments regarding politics and all that type of stuff and who did what and whose fault it is, it's just going to lower the whole vibration of what we're trying to achieve here, okay? So they won't be posted. So let's keep the focus on Afghanistan, on the plight of women in particular. And let's see what messages want to come through. I will do a meditation and some healing at the end of this video as well. I'll put the timestamp in the description box below so that you know where to find that as well. I'm going to use some cards and I'll tell you what those cards are. It's very specific. Metatron and the guides have been very specific about what decks we need. First one is a deck I haven't used in a long time, which is the Vision Quest Tarot. I'm also going to be using the Goddess Power Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, the Magdalene Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno, and the Mother Mary Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Okay, I keep wanting to say Alanis Morissette. I mean, actually, I think there's something in there because Alanis Morissette is she's like this ballsy, feminine energy. And she's tough, she's a fighter, she's a survivor. And, you know, I think there's something in that archetypal energy that she holds, which the women of the world at the moment need to find within themselves. So anyway, let's get to it. There's one card so far that I've already pulled, and I'll just show you what that is. And I've also got a crystal that is really calling to help us with this work today as well. The card first, though, came up upside down, probably no surprise, because it's the card of divine wisdom, Sophia, divine wisdom. So it's that divine feminine energy and wisdom. And it came in the upside down position, which is showing that it's being challenged at the moment. But it's almost as though, if you actually look at this card, it almost feels as though whatever this is supposed to be symbolise on the lady's head, on Sophia's head, I'm viewing it today as a compass. And it's as though you can put the divine feminine, you know, upside down, you can disorientate her, you can confuse her, you can try and suppress her, but she will always find the right way to come back and to true north is what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing the star will guide you home. The star will guide you home. So don't underestimate the power of this divine feminine energy in our world right now. And even though Afghanistan is rightfully in the news for many different reasons, but it's also in the news and in the spotlight hugely, and for us as a spiritual community to be focusing on the divine feminine. One of you on, I think it was Facebook, you put a comment that just stayed with me. You said something along the lines of, how, with regard to the whole situation in Afghanistan and the fear that we're going to be dragged back into the Middle Ages, and the suppression of women, etc. Somebody said, how on earth is the divine feminine going to rise from the muck, this muck? And that really stayed with me. But I'm hearing now straight away that the lotus needs muck to be able to bloom, okay? The lotus flower needs the mud and the muck to bloom. That's true of, that's sort of the basic energy of duality, isn't it, as well? That from darkness, light can come. And look where that light is. The light is completely overlighting the crown, the third eye, all of the upper chakras of the divine feminine energy. So we're going to keep that one out. I'm also just going to show you a crystal that was really calling to me. It was actually gifted to me by a friend of mine called Jenny. And Jenny did a lot of work with, oh God's sake, I can't remember the lady's name, Judy Hall. Her name went out of my head for a minute, Judy Hall. The crystal lady who passed on sadly a week or so ago, I think. Rest in peace to Judy. But Jenny is a wonderful crystal healer, and I will put her links below because she does a lot of good work on crystals. She's a mine of information on it, and I'd like to give her a shout out. But she actually mined this crystal for me. It's called Peach Gypsum and Satin Spar. Peach Gypsum and Satin Spar. And I mean, literally, Jenny got down in the mud to get these stones out. It's just because it's the sort of thing she does. And she said to me that this one was found in a quarry near Nottingham in the UK. And I'll just read what she wrote to me. She says, this particular area is not far from London Road, the road that Robin Hood regularly travelled along to Sherwood Forest. And the whole area is very military based, so it holds a lot of history. Now, I'd forgotten the fact that this came from a place very heavily linked into, as I say, the military energy that is around it. It's also got the properties of this particular stone are to do with clarity, love and support, allowing you to look at the positive of life. It's regenerative, and it strengthens connection with the self and your soul essence. So I'm going to be holding this as we do our healing later and through this session, but I wanted just to mention this particular crystal. In fact, let me just see what it wants to say, shall we? Because we had quite a lot of success in the last video when I was channeling another one. So let's see. So this is, it actually wants me to give it a name. This is Peach Gypsum and Satin Spar. Okay. Okay, it's going to tell me its name in private, but anyway, let's just see what it wants to say. So those of you that follow me on Instagram, yesterday I did a little, 5-minute meditation on softness and the importance of softness and the fact that we need to be softening our hearts at this moment in time. We need to be softening our mindsets. We need to be softening our bodies. We need to be softening our postures. It's very much bringing in the energy of softness. Softness needed to our world, softness needed between each person. And it's interesting, I'm actually being shown people, this doesn't have to be Afghanistan, it can be anybody, but people with different opinions in our world who are very sort of wanting to, attack each other, whether that be verbally or physically. And it's as though the energy of this peach gypsum seems to bring in like a shock absorber quality and like a soft it's like a soft spongy energy that keeps warring factions apart. So it is actually very appropriate for Afghanistan as well. Keeps warring factions apart, but equally keeps warring factions apart in our own self. Stops us fighting with each other. It's to do with just softening so we can see another perspective, somebody else's viewpoint. Okay, right. Let's pull some cards then on Afghanistan, and I'm going to go with the first deck that wanted to talk today, which is the Vision Quest deck. So let's just see, what should we ask? 2 cards on the current situation, 2 cards going forward, 2 cards anything else we need to know. 2 cards on the current situation in Afghanistan, please. 2 cards on the current situation. The Ace of Earth. 2 cards on the current situation in Afghanistan. Current situation in Afghanistan. The Mother of Earth, the Mother of Air. That would be the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Earth. Straight away, I'm hearing that the women of that place are going to be standing their ground. They're going to be standing their ground. I'm feeling this strength and this determination that we will not go back. We will not go backwards. I'm just feeling strength and determination from the women there. And the Ace of Earth, which would be the Ace of Pentacles, is very much linked into, this is our birthright, this is our land, this is who we are. It's just this energy of we're not going anywhere. And I'm really feeling as well, it's as though, and I will look you in the eyes, and it's as though there's a band of women here that I'm tuning into, which is to do with, there is nothing that you can do to me that is going to stop me from standing up for my right to be female, my right for my daughters to exist. We've got the Daughter of Air also on the bottom of the deck. This card as well, the card of futility. I actually feel my interpretation of this today is it's linked into it is futile to try to subvert us, because what binds us is stronger than what divides us. Now, I did see something in the paper yesterday. This is also linked into, of course, the men as well. Remember, the divine feminine can exist within men just as much as it can within women. Where it was a picture of, I don't know, I think it was men, it could have been, no, it was women, I think it was women, and they were handing the Taliban soldiers that were arriving in their town and their area white and red roses. Did you see that? And let me just see if I can quickly find what that was all about, because obviously the roses were a symbol of peace, and they were giving them to the soldiers that were arriving at their door. Let's just see, roses given, Afghanistan. See if I can just quickly pull it up. Okay, it says, in Afghani culture, red roses symbolise friendship, while the white blooms mean forgiveness. Ironically, the flowers were nearly wiped out during the last Taliban regime when gardens were left neglected. Yeah, here we go. Fearful Afghans hand over red and white roses, symbolising friendship and forgiveness. I'm just going to show you this photograph. Can you see? He's got his white rose. It's been handed to him. So this is what this card is about, okay? So it's I don't know whether this is supposed to be a talking stick on this card. I mean, I'm just interpreting the way I want to talk, the way I want to interpret them. But if it is, it's almost as though, I mean, the problems in that land go back hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's as though there's been so much talking, there's been so much fighting. We have to somehow come together. We have to somehow come together. And it feels as though it's the women, it's the divine feminine energy that just stands really, really firm. And she's doing it on behalf of her daughters. And if you look at that card, it's as though the older female, the older, more mature divine feminine energy is standing firm. The daughters, the younger ones, still have that inner strength, but it's as though they haven't lived through maybe, you know, the times before. They've just heard the stories, so they are maybe more fearful. It's not all, but some are more fearful of what is to come. But it's as though the older ones, it's as though, no, we've lived through this before, we've survived this before, and we will again. And that's just the energy that I get off those cards. Okay, let's have a look at anything else. How many cards have we got here? Okay, we've got 5. Let's have 7 cards. Anything else to say from this deck, please, with regard to the situation in Afghanistan? Six of Water, which is pleasure, and the 9 of Water, which is joy. 6 of Water would be the 6 of Cups, which in a traditional deck is linked back to the past, you know, happier times. 9 of Water would be 9 of Cups, which is to do with joy. 9 of Cups traditionally is linked into what do I wish for? What is wished for is a return to happier, more pleasant times. I have to say as well, though, that this word pleasure seems to be very, very important, because it feels as though what wants, or the fear is that what wants to be subverted is pleasure. You know, anything that gives pleasure. I've seen photographs in the paper of beauty salons, for example, with a picture of a woman who's had her hair done and a bit of makeup or something, and they're being whitewashed over because it's like that's, you know, not allowed. I read other reports that music is starting to cease. It's as though the whole thing about singing and dancing and pleasure and love and freedom, it's like the fear is there's going to be a clamping down of that. But it's as though this divine feminine energy is holding on to these days where, and she knows it's possible to bring back pleasure, to bring back joy. And it's as though I'm not going to take my eye off that. I'm not going to take my eye off that. I'm not going to allow us to go back to an era of complete and utter stagnation. Okay, it couldn't be any clearer. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Mother of Earth. You know, it's as though that these women are going to be looking after their children. They're going to be looking after their families. They always did. They always have. We know how to do it, is what I'm hearing. Look how she's wrapped herself in a robe of colour. She's wrapped in colour. She's wrapped in all the colours of the rainbow, and she's holding her child within that. What do you need from us? What do you need from us? Your understanding is what I'm hearing. Your understanding. We have clarity, we have inner peace, and we have contemplation. Okay, let's read those cards together then. Clarity, contemplation, and inner peace. 2 of Air would be 2 of Swords. This is a crossroads moment for our world, and I'm hearing our world. This is almost as though this is an Afghanistan lady speaking through me. It's as though this is a choice point moment for our world. There are 2 ways to go, back into war or towards new earth and love. There needs to be a period of reflection and pause for now. It's as though hasty decisions would backfire at this time. And just sort of feeling it's like everything needs to settle. I think that this whole collapse of the previous government has surprised everybody, including probably the Taliban, in terms of how quickly it happened. So it's as though something that's come in very speedily, there now needs to just be a time for a settling energy and for clarity to come in. Now I'm going to say something here, a piece of guidance that was given to me a year ago, and I don't think I ever actually channeled it. I kept waiting for a video to bring it through, and I never got round to it. And it's to do with darkness in our world. And we can talk about this in a very general way. It actually came in on the back of talking about separate subject really, but you know, like the Illuminati, whether you believe that or not, but let's just assume, and there probably is, or there is, you know, an upper echelon of our world which are corrupt and are dark and are evil at their core. You could also call them the reptilians, okay? So let's just say the reptilians. Let's just use this as an example. And what was shown to me was that the more that we just view people in that light, that you are that, and I'm going to label you as that, whether you're Illuminati, whether you want to call them a reptilian, whatever it is, okay? Let's not get into all of the, you know, the whys and wherefores of why people are called that or whether it's right or wrong. It's just trying to get this point across that the more that you keep labeling something as that, it has no chance to be able to escape its identity. If you actually boil that down to a much more minuscule level, think about your own family, okay? And you might have an identity within your family as, I don't know, the shy one or the difficult one or the black sheep of the family, or, you know, the addict. Maybe you were an addict, maybe you still are an addict, or, you know, the alcoholic or whatever you are, you know, but you're given a label, you're given an identity. And the only way that growth and change and evolution can happen is if you allow people to let go of old identities. How can we expect any energy, however dark it is, let's take it now back to a collective level, how can we expect it to change if we never expect it to change? If we just assume that it's always going to be that. You know, the teachings of Christ always show that there is redemption for everybody and everything. Everybody and everything, however dark. So if we look at something like the Taliban and we look back to what they've done in the past and what pockets of them still might do in the future, you know, it's horrific. But equally, if we can't allow part of our mindset to expand, to even imagine that they can change, they're not going to change because we're not allowing that old identity to be cast off. I did just quickly scan the papers before I came on just now, and there's a report by Sir Nick Carter, who is the Chief of Defence Staff in the UK, who is coordinating, I guess, the evacuation of people at the moment. And he's actually said today that the Taliban are cooperating with UK forces, and these are his words, and are not behaving in a medieval way. Now, you know, let's hope that lasts. I'm not saying, I don't know, maybe it can, maybe it can't. But what I'm trying to convey is that if that is a piece of news to catch on to as a light worker, that is like a tiny little chink in the armour of light to say, actually, maybe there's a possibility of change. Maybe it doesn't have to be the way that it was, you know? So these brave women that are literally holding the line in somewhere like Afghanistan, what they want from us is for us to at least, to not just keep perpetuating worst case scenario the whole time, which is natural for us to fear because it's what, you know, we might assume is going to happen. It's a helicopter literally just going past my window as I am talking to you. You see, that could be, that's symbolic, isn't it? Flight to safety is what I'm hearing, flight to safety. But you take my point, okay? We've got to try and imagine that those who do the darkest deeds in our society are at least capable of change. Because if we can't believe that that is so, we are making it even harder for them to change. That's my point, okay? Right, let's get some other cards out. Let's go to a different deck. Might be able to hear a bit of background noise from a gardener out there, but I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Right, what guidance does Mary Magdalene have, please? Mary Magdalene. The beloved. That you are beloved, that they are beloved, that everybody is loved by God. And we've got sacred sexuality upside down. So this is, you know, Mary often comes in and talks about this type of thing. Again, sacred sexuality upside down. So this is linked into the ultimate expression of love, of sexuality, of divine feminine and divine masculine being able to find each other. Look at that, they're finding each other. Of course, there's pleasure there, but there's also ultimate spiritual connection. And it's as though, again, this fear that cannot be allowed to occur in a place under the rule of people like that. It's on the bottom of the deck. Co-creation. Co-creation is on the bottom of the deck. What you wanted to say about these three cards, Mary? She's bringing my attention to this card, and she's bringing my attention to this woman's eyes. And this woman's eyes, at first sight, look as though she's crying tears, but she's not. She's actually got light that is coming out of the eyes. There's light that is being shed from her eyes. There is light that is being shed from this person's eyes. This is to do with standing your ground. It really is. It just feels as though this is a moment where the divine feminine is going to be standing her ground. I'm hearing no fear. I mean, it's easy for me to say sitting here, you know, in a place of safety, but what I'm tuning into here is a group of very powerful women in Afghanistan who have the ability to be able to look their enemy in the face, eye to eye, and to have no fear. And the thing that seems to be able to change it around is the energy of the open heart. Okay, the heart consciousness that these women have within them that is able to change and rock the world. There's very, very tiny writing on this card, and it says, all you see is me, all you see is you. Light always shines true through the eternal light of love, forever, within each heart, always. So it's to do with, if we can start to see the enemy in this light, looking them in the eyes, and it's like, all you see is me, all you see is you. Light always shines true through the eternal light of love, forever. My love within each heart always. This is a massively important happening in our world right now, and I think we might be surprised at the and we shouldn't be surprised, but the power of the women that are there. I can't stress it more loudly. Yeah, because look at that. You see, in this story, there's a hidden gift. There's a hidden gift. It says sadness, an ending, but a new beginning. Power, self-confidence, and productivity. I'm very aware that these cards that I've chosen to use here, they've got naked form. They've got the naked form on, which I would imagine would not be acceptable under that type of regime. But it's here. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. There's a confidence here in terms of, this is my body and I will not hide it. I will not hide my body. This is a very pivotal moment for our world. The focus is there for a reason. The horror and the fear that we're feeling in terms of, oh my God, what's going to happen to those women and children, is there for a reason. But equally, there's a counter energy that I'm feeling here today, which is this uprising of the divine feminine, who will, I mean, put it this way, if you're going to kill that woman, she's going to be looking you in the face as you do it. And I'm not dreaming that in as a reality, but that's what I'm feeling. It's like you can kill me, but you can't ever take away my spirit. And you can't remove the energetic imprint that I've left already on this land. I'm hearing I'm already awake. I'm already here. I've got full goosebumps. The divine feminine energy is already there in Afghanistan. It's not going anywhere. You can do anything you wish to us, but we're not going anywhere. And I'm hearing the ones that come, I'm seeing generation after generation of girls and women that come are just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Let's pull a couple of cards on the Taliban itself. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Now let's see, what deck do we need for that though? Let's go back to the Vision Quest deck. Let's just see where they're at. See what their energy is at the moment. So Taliban going back into Afghanistan. They're coming out as the Son of Earth. Interestingly, on the bottom of the deck, they've got the card of insecurity. Five of Earth, Five of Pentacles, insecurity. You see, again, in a traditional deck, this would be the card which shows them being locked out. So it's as though, you know, they may be in power, but they're locked out of power. What that's to me is saying that much of the international community won't recognise them. So that's what that is. It's as though, well, we're in power, but actually it's not being recognised in many places around the world. So it's leaving a sense of insecurity. And it feels as though, I don't know what's going on with the crops there at the moment. I'm talking crops of food. I don't know whether they rely on imports coming in or not. I don't know. But it's as though, you know, those feel like hungry crows. But the first intention is they're coming in as the Son of Earth. Interestingly, they're not coming in as a king. They're coming in as the sun. I'm also wanting to say, and again, this is just what I'm channeling through, that I know that some of the leaders of the Taliban that are there now taking charge are the old guard. Okay, they are the old guard. I think is the leader. He's been in Guantanamo Bay for God knows how many years. But the point is, again, hopefully, you know, there's change that's come into his heart. But I feel as though within the wider Taliban, there are younger men who have got a different perspective, who may still hold very true to whatever it is they stand for. But I don't know, it just feels there's a bit more meekness there. There's a bit more, I'm wanting to say calm. I'm looking at the colours here. There's like a calm energy, which isn't what I was expecting to see, but it's what I've got. Let's see what else. I'm also noticing that the Son of Earth is wearing a necklace, and it looks as though it's made up of turquoise, definitely as a stone, and something maybe like coral, or I'm wanting to say coral, but turquoise is the stone of communication. So wanting to communicate, but, you know, coming bearing gifts. Okay, what else? Show me the energy of the Taliban coming back into Afghanistan. Spiritual warrior. Five of fire, stress. That's battles and fighting. 10 of water, fulfillment. At some level of being. They want peace. They want the rainbow. Security. Spiritual warrior. This is our land, is what I'm hearing. This is our land. Look at the battles we fought for this land. God, guys, I hope I'm right. I mean, you know, I have asked for highest possible outcome here, remember? Okay. And let's hope this is the highest, this is the highest possible outcome, that they basically come back in a gentler way than the world is expecting. It's not the return to what was. I'm not saying it's utopia, I'm not saying it's great, but I'm saying it's not as bad as people are thinking it's going to be. This is highest possible outcome. Yeah. They're positive cards, the card of abundance and the card of insight. For abundance to come to this land, the insight is that we have to work together, that we have to make this work. Maybe having been in exile for the number of years that they've been in exile has changed them. It won't have changed all of them. I'm sure there'll be pockets that still are the old guard, but I'm feeling there's a new guard, a new guard within the Taliban itself. These don't look like the energy of, blood hungry, warmongering, raping, pillaging. Let's hope this is true. Let's go into our meditation, guys, with that highest outcome as a possibility. And it's a possibility if they are guided by spirit. Okay, so we're actually asking spirit to come in to the mindset and to the hearts of this new leadership. We're asking spirit to come in to the hearts of the Taliban. We're asking spirit to come into their mind and into their way that they view their fellow man, woman and child. To bring in grace, to bring in God's love, to work together. Okay, so let's just connect into spirit, putting your feet down onto Mother Earth and feeling her vibration and her love. Let us connect into this beautiful world that we live in. Let us connect into our own country where we are residing, our own community, our own road. And let us bring in the vibration of love to that, the energy of compassion and the energy of grace. Let us hold these qualities also within ourselves. Let us open our hearts and our minds to new ways of looking at our world, new opportunities, and this new energy that wishes to be birthed throughout Gaia. Let us feel the love that Mother Earth has for us, and let us feel that as it starts to flow up through our body from the chakras within our feet. The steady love, the genuine love, the unconditional love that Mother Earth has for us, filling every part of you, working its way up your back, through all the organs, all the cells, all the chakras, head to toe, down to your fingers, your skin, your hair, the energy of love, opening your heart and allowing more love to flow in, radiating that out, pulsing that out, becoming love. And then see many other people joining together at this moment, experiencing the same thing. Love, love, love. See the world starting to shine brightly and the vibration of love pulsing through Mother Earth's waters, through her earth, through the elements, through the trees, through the people. Softening our stance, starting to see what is good, what is beautiful. starting to see what is light, starting to see truth, starting to see justice, starting to see fairness and equality, starting to see the divine feminine energy surging into all places, all countries, all streets. The divine feminine energy entering your house, your being, filling you with inspiration and light and love. New ways of communicating, new ways of being, new ways of doing. And this becomes an unstoppable force that changes us as individuals, changes our communities, changes our countries, changes our world. Love breeds more love until it overflows into all rivers, all valleys. This vibration of love enters the hearts of even the most hard, embittered, battle-worn, egoic energies, and it starts to chip away. Chip away at the old paradigms, chip away at old leadership based on old ways, and just see that channel of love now flowing particularly into Afghanistan, into its cities, into its towns, into its houses, into the families that live there, into the women, into the children, into the leadership. Love, love, and more love. See Archangel Zadkiel's violet ray coming in, transmuting fear, transmuting pain, transmuting terror, transmuting the old ways, bringing in a bright, beautiful ball of white light, symbolic of hope, symbolic of change, symbolic of positive outcomes, symbolic of the highest possible outcome that we've read, symbolic of soldiers tired of fighting, wanting to unify, wanting to become one with their fellow brothers and sisters, seeing and visualizing the putting down of arms, seeing and visualizing new channels of communication opening up, seeing and visualizing the dove of peace above the palace or places where the leadership resides, into the hearts of the spiritual leaders and teachers there, as well as the men and women on the street. Seeing a great light in the sky there, blinding light, bringing in extraordinary transformational change, not allowing this beautiful part of our world to be dragged back into darkness, but to be pulled towards light, and yet more light, and yet more light. Ridding our bodies of the fears that may happen, allowing ourselves to be able to believe that this is possible in one of the places in our world where there has been so much struggle and fighting and pain, that love and peace can start to reside in the most unexpected and unimaginable, beautiful ways. Like a seed of grass, allow it to grow into a beautiful meadow. Don't stamp on the seeds of change and hope that are there. Don't expect the worst outcome. Expect the best outcome. Expect the highest outcome. Bring it in. Affirm it is so. See the women standing tall and proud and strong, sovereign and free. See their children even more so. See the men of that land, strong and true and proud. See families, strong and true and proud. See the world surprised at how the light grows there. Let it become a beacon of change and hope. This is what we pray, Father God, Mother God. So be it, and it is so. Amen. Take a deep breath in and out, and open your eyes. The light is dazzling. The light is dazzling on Mother Earth, Gaia. Mother Earth wants us to succeed and to not go back into the past, but instead to rebirth into the new. Mother Earth is expectant, pregnant, waiting for the shackles of the past to be released, for the rebirth to happen. We don't go back, we go forward. And as light workers, this is what we need to be affirming for all places in the world. Don't go into fear, don't feed that, oh my God, they're going back. No, they're going forward. Okay. I hope that's helped. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Keep the prayers high, the vibration as high as you can for that beautiful part of our world, and sending love and strength to all. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now. Bye.